Love. It's one of the most powerful emotions we as people possess. It's universal. It exists in every language. Our ability to love is what makes us human, and it is applicable to everything we do. So it would make sense that when in leadership positions, leading with compassion is the most quintessential part of being a leader. Providing a nurturing environment for your peers is far more effective than a fear-based leadership style that we've seen in the past that has repeatedly failed. When leading, if you make those who follow you feel more comfortable and appreciated, they will be more likely to open up and become confident in themselves and inspire others to do the same.
Character traits define each and every one of us. They show in almost everything we do. A good leader is able to recognize and subsequently take advantage of his or her personal traits. By realizing one's positive and negative traits, a leader can learn how to utilize their strongest aspects and improve upon their weaker ones. Someone who is able to self-evaluate and critique is someone who is able to grow. One character trait that I value in a leader is appreciation of beauty. When a leader can appreciate beauty in an environment, he or she often gains a stronger awareness of the importance of a leadership position. And when a leader can see and appreciate the beauty in others, specifically his or her followers, it becomes apparent that each person isn't simply another follower, but an individual with infinite value and worth. Another important character trait is open-mindedness. Let's face it, nobody always has the right answer, not even you. In order to lead with the most success possible, it is important to know how to follow as well. A leader who can learn from others and swallow his or her pride at times for a greater good is often the leader who gains the greatest respect from the followers or observers. That brings me to my third character trait, humility. Like a leader with an open mind, a humble leader is able to remove him or herself from the power-hungry mentality and understand that what he or she is working for is something much greater. A humble leader understands that oftentimes it is not about who is leading, but about what they are leading for. This is the kind of person that is able to lead with compassion.
When discussing compassionate leaders, one of the first people who comes to mind is President Carter. Although some may say that his contributions as a president were minimal, his work for the community was undeniably significant. Carter has been an active volunteer for Habitat for Humanity and lobbied to expand the scope of the EPA. His diplomatic relations earned him the 2002 Nobel Peace Prize. Another person synonymous with compassionate leadership is Bill Gates. The former CEO of Microsoft founded and operates the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which is the world's largest transparent non-for-profit in the world. He has given over $20 billion to charity and has pledged to donate 95% of his wealth. Former President of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, is another leader expressing the same qualities. He is the co-founder of the Mandela Rhodes Foundation, which works to provide treatment and research for HIV and AIDS. His constant voice opposing war won him a share of the 1993 Nobel Peace Prize, and he has been an active voice against the Iraq War. Many would never consider John D. Rockefeller to be a compassionate leader due to his ruthless business practices. However, he invested heavily in the well-being of his community. The former world's richest man founded the first African-American college for women, and he donated a large portion of his fortune to dozens of colleges and helped turn the University of Chicago from a small college to one of the world's finest.
The definition that we came up with for compassion-based leadership was how people lead with empathy. These types of leaders put others before themselves in their own careers, families, and relationships. The big part about compassion-based leadership is that it guides you to maintain your integrity as a leader and become more of a loving person altogether while turning into a positive example who others can follow too. In the past, I have led with compassion through my sports team. I would have never become a wrestling captain without loving the sport and feeling compassion for my teammates and others. A team doesn't have the same dynamic if the individuals aren't bonded together through brotherly or sisterly love, such as a close-knit sports team. Present day, compassion-based leadership is critical to all of us Western students so that we can become positive role models in the real world. Anyone can lead through compassion if they make the conscious decision to listen to others' feelings and be a good friend towards others. Most of us live in dorms with roommates, suitemates, and hundreds of other young adults. In the future, compassion-based leadership is a model to follow in the workplace, family household, and just out in the real world. All leaders should aim to be compassion-based leaders. Personally, for me, I want to eventually become a doctor, and this will take many years of schooling. Leading with empathy and kindness is an important trait if I want to become a doctor and base my whole life around helping others.
Leaders are found all over the world, and sometimes they aren't that hard to spot. Many leaders lead with compassion every day in community service projects. Community service projects take lots of time and compassion and are made easier with leaders who lead with their hearts. Learning projects like the one we were involved in help the world around us become a better place. There are many different ways to help the area around you. This past year, I was a part of an 8-month-long community service project. This project involved 14 other guys and myself hopping on stage and dancing in front of a couple thousand people. All 15 of us were pushed into compassionate leadership roles as we collectively raised $115,000 for our local children's hospital. This taught us all how to put others first and lead with compassion. Last month, our class embarked on an early morning drive to plant trees. Once we got out there and saw all the beauty around us, we realized that we were doing work for our environment to make it a better place. Even though we were all cold and covered in hay, you and I put the world first and led with compassion as we planted 1,400 trees and spread hay over a mile or so. This shows that anyone can lead with compassion through community service. Community service is a major role in being a leader and goes hand in hand with leading compassionately. Using compassion pushes the people around you to enjoy the work they are doing and allows them to see the effects it's having on the world. Community service, big or small, is always an act of compassion and makes everything around you better. You all have led with compassion, and leading with compassion is the way to go.
Leading with compassion is something everyone can do in their daily lives. Whether it's holding the door open for someone, saying your pleases and thank yous, or any act of kindness. You don't have to be a millionaire or the president to lead with compassion. All it takes is a conscious decision to be better, help others, and to be a functioning member in your community. Leading with compassion is contagious. Once you start doing it, others will follow in your footsteps. Compassion is what brings people together. It binds our community. In order to become a good leader, you must embrace what it means to be compassionate and to spread compassion throughout your life.